What could have been awesome if people hadn't ruined it? Meta keywords on websites used to be a good way to tell search engines what your website is about until lots of websites started keyword stuffing and adding tons of unrelated keywords to show up in more searches, so now most search engines just ignore them. The news used to be a public service in the US. When TV was delivered over radio waves, the government let networks use the best frequency for video and audio, in exchange for 1 hour of public service of news without excessive ads. Ruined that. Now we just have a grab for attention for ratings, thus ad sales. No news, just entertainment. Random adults helping random kids was ruined by pedophiles and kidnappers. I'd like to help this kid but they might think I'm a creeper so I'll just stay away, stranger danger after all. Edit. Also I guess same thing applies to men legit wanting to help women out without any expectations whatsoever. Had a Nerf fight for my birthday and one of my friends brought a modded Nerf Mega. Deleted. Used to be TV news was commercial free, so it was considered a reasonably reliable source of information. Once they introduced the advertising-supported 24-hour news cycle, they all had to compete for the most sensationalist stories hooking the most people instead of giving actual news. Duluth Trading Co. Satisfaction guarantee. If a product fails soon after purchase, send it back. If you use the product and it wears out, be a mensch and know that you got a high-quality product that served you well, and don't cheat and say you're not satisfied like a punk. Chat roulette. Could have been so awesome to just randomly chat with someone in another country. But people had to ruin it by just having slongs on it all the time. Lawn darts. We had a common area where anyone who needed it could let their animals graze, but then wealthy folks with a lot of land and livestock would descend on it en masse, even though they didn't need it, and ruined it. It's a tragedy. Flying drones as a hobby. I'm scared to fly my race quad in my local park now. My favorite fishing spot. The rainforest. YouTube. Return policies. There were a lot of places, like Ray and L. Bean, that had great return policies. However, people abusing them eventually led to the companies making them stricter. After scrolling through, the consensus seems to be, everything we touch. The History Channel, TLC, Discovery, etc. used to be such great education tools and put out great content. Now, it's saturated with reality TV shows that are on all the time. That one mustache, you know, the one that is trimmed to just the width of your nose, that one. One butt had to fluff it up for everyone else. The mountain lake where my parents had a summer cabin and dock for fishing and swimming. It used to be pristine and peaceful, the smell of pine trees in the breeze and abundant fish. Now, as I once mentioned, the trees have been cut down, the water is polluted with oil and gas from roaring motor boat engines, and the fish are gone. The Great Barrier Reef was and still is awesome, unfortunately Australia and the world have likely doomed it. Hashtags. People actually used them sensibly at first. And #X200B, edit, spelling. Edit 2 hashtag missed hashtag opportunity hashtag to hashtag tag hashtag this. Kids being able to play and wander outside all day on their own without constant supervision. Oh, and the word daddy. That robot who was hitchhiking everywhere. I think he only lasted about a day in America. We suck. The name Karen. Edit, thank you all. There's definitely a lot of ruined names and Karen is clearly the biggest modern one of a long line of namicide. Social media. It seems like it would be a great way to meet people, share ideas, and learn. Instead people take great joy in trolling, scamming, and deliberately spreading crap. Air quality. The YouTube comments section could have been a place for insightful discussion. Climbing Mt. Everest. It used to be a huge accomplishment and nowadays people hire Nepali people to take all their stuff and make their way up easy and comfortable. There is also a huge amount of trash and a queue. A queue at the very top. California. It was really nice in my teens and in my 20s but now it takes 3 hours to get home and if you want to go to the mall leave 30 minutes early cause that's how long it takes to find parking. Gender reveal parties. Should have just been a cute way to let people know if you're having a boy or a girl, but now people go to ridiculous lengths for their parties. The worst I've heard about was a couple that decided to set off an appropriately colored explosion and ended up starting a giant wildfire. Florida. Limerixit was a vaccine for Lyme disease but had the unfortunate timing of coming out when the anti-vaccine hysteria started. Where I am in the Northeast, 1 in 3 ticks carry the disease and if not caught early can cause serious health risk for the rest of your life. If I won one of those insane lotteries like $1 billion I would try to revive it. Or if every Reddit person sent me $50, I would try to get it funded. Almost every new feature added to an internet browser. My sense of humor. Now I just laugh at beans. This job would be great if it weren't for the fluffing customers. Randall. Spore. Maxis themselves did a great job building it all up, but then when they got AI in on things, garbage went down the fluffing drain. Spore could have been a much better game without AI getting its money-hungry butt down on it. The Zune and more importantly the service. If you paid $10 or $15 a month you got access to any song, and got to download and buy 15 songs a month. So if you stopped using it, you kept your music. Self-checkout machines. In theory it should be a faster way to make your purchases. In practicality, it's a bloated mess of a system. The system gives you unreasonable errors. Coupons and discounts often require staff interaction. People with too many groceries or who can't use the system slow it all down to a crawl. At this point any kind of queue for those machines has me searching for staff to ring through my purchases instead. User interface design. We put the graphic artists in charge. Twitch would have been awesome if the admins and streamers and viewers weren't terrible. Most fandom love Undertale and Steven Universe. Absolutely hate the fandom edit, Jesus tits, 99 plus notifications from one post, shoutout to K-pop and Rick and Morty. The Internet. Using headsets to talk to people while playing a game. Then everyone brought their vulgarity and get good to it. If we could have chilled out, it would be a fun way to meet new people who share an interest. National parks, state parks. Everything outdoor in fact. The Second Amendment. Earth. Being a fan of garbage. Now the fans ruin entire communities. My hometown. It was a smaller tourist trap sort of town when I was younger, especially where I lived, but once people started talking about our amazing food, Sunset Cliffs, and all of our amusement parks on social media it blew up. Now after a sunset people use my street as a highway to get back to their hotels and the easier to access beaches. On top of that our record for the number of people falling off of the cliffs down the street in one day is 3. The amount of people that have died trying to take cute selfies is way too high. Also God, if only some people could write. I've seen fan fictions written by a 12-year-old that had more thought out in. When you want to have a date with a person, but more people come along. Yellowstone National Park. The Library of Alexandria. FNAF. I still love the games after 5 years, but seriously some of the fandoms are awful. The body acceptance movement. It's somehow morphed into a "screw skinny people" and "my doctor can't tell me my weight is dangerous for my health" and just all around kinda negative thing. Public toilets. I mean, how hard can it be to cuss sit down garbage while your butt and go away? No, some of these fusers have the goddamn urge to garbage on walls, the floor or even the toilet seat. Others need to piss everywhere. Nobody flushes the toilet and some think they have to write some garbage on the walls. Medication. All these executives talk about saving the world or how poor little Timmy can't do ABC. Well, maybe he could if the costs of insulin or anti-cancer meds weren't sky high. Be a hero and save lives. Stop putting profits over people. Reddit. Universities getting into uni and getting a degree used to be such an achievement. Now a company will barely give you the time of day if you don't have a degree, and universities are becoming industrial estates that are weeding out unprofitable degrees, i.e. humanities and arts mostly, so their statistics look better and they get more funding from the government and companies investing in them. The swastika. Major ice cream brands came up with a genius way of sealing their containers. The container is filled with liquid ice cream, then flipped upside down and frozen, creating a natural seal. No plastic necessary. Until someone decided to start licking them in the stores. Nirvana t-shirts. Airports. Yes, I tried hard to search for this before saying it, but it seems no one has said it. I used to enjoy and adore the idea of visiting airports. Now, from what I have learned, between the increased airport security and how harsh some of it has become, combined with the absurdity of being disallowed from carrying so much as a darn water bottle, I avoid airports at all costs, all to my own misfortune of this type. We need some kind of security, naturally. This means I am okay with airport security. Just not the hell it has become.